Practical situation given is a great photographer. He took a photograph of a nature situation, let's say of a bird, and that was just the best picture in the whole world, and published in National Geographic and so on and so forth. Now, is there anything to observe about this fact that a photographer got an international award for a best photograph?
Yes.
That's a fact, a facility fact. Now, can we analyze this fact further?
Definitely.
Definitely, yes. Then in which case, you analyzed it very beautifully and you made the first, in our terminology, the first linkage of that fact. What did you say?
Observing capacity.
Yeah, he had a great capacity to observe.
Yes.
All right. Now let us analyze this. A lot of people have observation capacity, and you explained that he had the power of attention to details.
Yeah.
Agreed. Therefore, what was more critical in this final culmination of an award-winning photograph? He had attention to details. That's all.
No. Then he conceived an idea and he put that into action and he clicked
What was that idea?
Because he perceived that he can generate this nature process into a very good photograph.
What helped him to do that?
His creativity.
That is a very available answer, his creativity.
Yes.
In which way, if that was his creativity, that's a very theoretically correct answer.
Okay.
But the trainees of you would like to know precisely what aspect of creativity functioned there.
Okay.
Can you say? It is not anything theoretical. Answer
It's
from
not
your...
theoretical. Yeah.
But you are saying that it is his creativity is your theoretical understanding.
Okay.
Which is correct. Nobody can dispute it. Now you have to say, as a trainer, what exactly was the specialty which you say as creativity? Forget about the term creativity.
Okay.
He observed the details
Yeah.
and
You observe the details. Then naturally the next process he needed to have a concept about that. About a good photograph. He with his experience, with his vast
what
experience.
you say now is a second point of the fact.
Okay.
First linkage was that he observed, he was capable of observation.
Yes.
Secondly, that he has good concept of how to take a good photograph.
Yes.
That's actually second linkage.
Oh.
Got it.
Okay.
Now again go to the first one, which we are analyzing right now.
Yes.
He had observation power, he has attention to details.
Yes.
Now you have to say one more thing.
Okay.
That ended up in his clicking the photograph. What is that thing?
As a photographer, that is the only thing he has to do or left to do.
Agreed. But what prompted him to do that? There is no other variable, you say.
That is a natural thing, no? To click that. As a photographer, if you see a good scenery or good event or good whatever it is, a nature setting, if he has got a camera with him, or even if it is a mobile camera, as a professional, he always carries his camera. So the next obvious thing is to take photo of that.
All right, that's a very acceptable explanation. Now, look at the situation. Now, as of now, a great lot of people have camera, or almost every good cell phone has a good camera.
Yes.
And people go to places much more frequently and elaborately than before, yes. And they take millions of photographs.
Okay.
But none of them, very rarely any one of them meets international standards. And they all clicked, according to them, very beautiful site, very unique site, very strange site, very wonderful site, and so on and so forth.
Okay.
So it is not that.
It's not that.
But it is connected with that. But you have to precisely point out what aspect of his intellect, what engine of intellect worked behind. After observing the details, what is another one more linkage that works there?
Okay.
After observing the details,
Yeah.
one more critical linkage has functioned there.
That is action, no?
No, before the action. For a world-class photograph, which was judged as a world-class photograph. I am giving you a clue.
Okay. Yeah. His judgment.
Exactly.
His judgment. Yes.
His analysis.
His
He
analysis.
observed, when you observe details, there could be thousands of details.
Yes.
And with, as you said, with more of his experience, he would see more and more details.
Details. Yes.
In which case, there could be even a confusion.
Yes.
Like in great international competition of performing arts.
Yes.
What is the advantage of so-called Olympic feats? It is obvious. Someone reaches first. It is measurable. But art performance, dance, and so on and so forth, 10 competitors, international competitors, judges would be in a great dilemma.
Yeah.
Which one to be finally explainable, logically, undisputably the number one.
Okay. Yeah.
Only that international judgment can know that.
Yes.
Similarly, in this photographer, that
He
judgment
himself is a very good judge. Yes.
Rather, he can know, he can identify what is still the greatest of an available detail.
Okay.
When rank number 1, 2, 3, 10 are almost looking like rank 1 for anybody else.
Yes. Okay.
Alright, so first linkage is further explained.
Okay.
Second linkage, you said that what?
Concept.
Yeah, he had a concept.
Yes.
He had a concept.
Yes.
How do you judge, how do you justify that he had a concept?
Okay.
See the beauty of thought process. This is what I call originality of thought process.
Okay.
A certain thought or a certain concept or a certain conclusion can originate in the mind of a so-called thinking individual. Because it is originated, he may not know all the linkages.
Yes. Yeah.
If it was the result of a thinking process, he would immediately know what other things are linkaged with that.
Yes.
So, an original person is having the responsibility to explain his own finding.
Pointing. Yeah. Okay. Because it has to be conceptualized. Okay. It has to be conceptualized. Because
What has to be conceptualized?
by clicking, he found out that with his judgment and professionalism, he found out that there is a possibility of an excellent photo.
Okay.
Okay. Now, that photo has to be conceptualized into something. Means he has to click. He has to click the camera. So that
That means what?
that means he clicked.
That means he is a great photographer.
Yes, he is a great photographer because he is a great photographer. Yes.
Point number 2, he has the competencies of adjusting lenses, adjusting lens speed, shutter speed,
Aperture, yes.
all these things.
Yes. He's an excellent photographer.
You can convert, you have said very beautifully the word conceptualization, which is normally used in the context of literary translations, poetic conceptualization. But it is applicable here also.
Okay.
If you take this into example of seeing a young girl standing alone in a beautiful highland valley, which is the theme of a masterpiece in English poetry called The Solitary Reaper, written by William Wordsworth. The theme is nothing, just a young girl standing alone.
Yes.
That is to be conceptualized into a poem. Okay. That is the main engine of the creative intellect of William Wordsworth.
Okay.
So, in the context of the photographer, he is already a master in using that engine, the equipment of a camera too.
Yeah, because even that photo itself is a poem.
Of course, correct.
Yes.
In this case, it's a machine.
Yes.
In the other case, it is language.
Language.
That's all. Now the third linkage.
Okay. So,
By this, we are also proving that everything in the universe must have minimum 3 linkages.
Okay.
We prove it by a simple metaphor of a wheel, a spoked wheel,
Okay.
which has to bear some load.
Yes.
Let's say on a horse cart.
Okay.
If there is a wheel with a single spoke, impossible.
Impossible.
2 spokes meaning it will spread from the hub to opposite sides.
Opposite sides.
It can function as a wheel, like steering wheels of a motor vehicle.
Yes.
But if it's a load-bearing wheel, what is the problem?
Yeah, it will bend. When the load comes on the other side, it will become flattened.
Yeah. Perhaps if one of the spokes is very straight to the earth, it may not. But when it rotates,
Yeah.
and
Yes.
when both the spokes become perpendicular with the head, it will just collapse.
Yes, it collapses.
So, one more spoke will make it perfect. That's the
Yes.
minimum possible.
Yes.
That is with the man-created thing, wheel. And that's the same with anything in the universe also. That is, for a single thing alone cannot exist. A single thing existing and not existing are identical in the sense that there should be another thing to notice the existence of the one thing.
Oh.
At least.
Yes. Yes.
Then there should be a third thing for these two to interact or to exist in closer communication or to exist in some plane, some terrain.
Yes.
So minimum 3 things.
Minimum 3 things. Okay.
That's why even if there is only so-called only one God, which every human being one day become convinced about, still there will be minimum 3 linkages applicable to that.
Even to God also.
Definitely.
Okay.
I will repeat, even if one is there,
Yeah.
or if one is there.
If one is there. Okay.
So you can, as a master trainer, as well as the audience of this video, who are interested in creative perception of the world around them as well as within them, they can follow this fundamental principle that for every item in the universe, as well as every item man created, every idea man created, every concept, every perspective, every theory, every proposition, every view will have minimum 3 linkages.
Okay.
Whereas the world of people, they go only one linkage.
Oh.
They insist on only one linkage.
Linkage.
So our God is the only one God.
Yes.
Our perspective is the only one perspective. Or what I found as the only one cause.
Yes.
For example, Western medicine says that there is only one cause.
Yes.
So there can be minimum 3 different dimensions of cause. These 3 are not only 3, these 3 are in different directions. Like the spoke of a wheel. You can have 3 spoked wheel, 3 out just one angle, okay?
Yeah.
It will not sustain.
Okay.
Like if 4 legs and 1 plank makes a table, you can fix one leg at one place, another leg nearby, another. It will not. 4 legs will be fixed, but it will not work as a table. So it has to be in minimum logic is there.
Yes.
So these 3 linkages will be necessarily be contradictory directions.
Okay.
So if we extend it to the more clear example of the so-called God, for the sake of clarity of example, the 3 approaches to God will be necessarily opposite only.
Oh.
So not realizing that, then they end up in fighting and mutual assassination.
Okay. Yes.
All right. Okay. Come. So we have 2 points.
Yeah.
Now the third point about masterpiece photograph. Or are we already 3?